We are James and Kelly. In our last two videos of exploring New York, we walked around giving our first impressions and discovering New York through an audio-guided food tour. In our final video from our time in New York, we walk around the New York Stock Exchange and end our time walking along the Brooklyn Bridge, learning more about its history. It's our final full day here in New York City, and we have to go see the 9/11 memorial here. It's going to be very heartbreaking experience walking through it and seeing it. However, we are not going to make any videos, add anything in it, because that's just not going to be respectful. So we're going to see you when we are finished. We just finished walking through the memorial and the museum, and it's heartbreaking to go through all of that. Again, we learn about it like in school every year, I guess, growing up, and it's just hard to relive it all. They did rebuild the New World Trade Center.
The New World Tower is located right next to where the memorial is. It's called the One World Tower, and it has 1,776 floors. The number 1776 coincides with the date of American independence, and it's a really cool building to look at. It's super tall, but it's definitely sad looking at the memorials and going through the museum. Passing by New York Stock Exchange on our way to Stone Street to get some food, and then we're gonna go see the charging bull and then head up to the Brooklyn Bridge. But the New York Stock Exchange building is pretty awesome. I mean, that is cool.
9 on it, sculptures, and of course it's where the stock market crash all started.
Because when they first made this park, people would go out and bowl on the grass.
That's a fun fact, James. Alright, we have now walked all the way up to the famous bull statue, and there's a line just to take a picture with its butt.
The crazy thing about this line is there's a line for the back of the bull, and there's a line for the front of the bull. This bull is getting photos two ways. Behind me is next to a park called Bowling Green. It's not actually on Wall Street. Most people think it is. But the bull is a symbol of financial prosperity and growth. So that's why it's connected to Wall Street. There's two gigantic lines just to take pictures with the bull, so we're not going to do that today. We're just gonna stand on the side and admire it and then head to our lunch location. We're still trying to find Stone Street, which is a cobblestone street full of restaurants and bars.
We finished our lunch on Stone Street. We decided to get Mexican. We just shared some tacos and guacamole, and we are walking towards the Brooklyn Bridge. As we walk along Brooklyn Bridge, we did buy another audio guided tour, so we're going to listen to that and learn more about the architecture as well as the buildings that surround it. Then we'll head into Dumbo, where we do another audio guide.
starting our walk on the Brooklyn Bridge. I was not expecting there to be so many vendors just posted alongside the walls, but I'm assuming there's so many tourists that come here that it's probably a good spot to try to sell some merchandise.
Yeah, I really thought that it was gonna just be like, you know, more local people walking across the bridge to and from, I guess, their jobs, but no. It's truly just meant for tourists, I think, to mostly walk, with maybe a few local people here and there.
The Brooklyn Bridge was an engineering marvel at the time it was built, and it was the largest steel suspension bridge in the world. The bridge was finished being built in 1883, and it linked at the time two different cities, Brooklyn and New York, and it was the only way to travel by land between the two. It also was the second tallest structure in New York at the time, only being beat by the Tower of the Trinity Church.
As we walk along the Brooklyn Bridge, it is all wooden, so you can hear the squeaks of the bolts and everything. It's a little scary, I think, walking through, because you can see the cracks and you can look directly through and you see all of the cars underneath driving.
It's super freaky to look down, right? Being a suspension bridge means it has huge cables that go up and anchor it into the land, holding up the bridge. And at the anchor points, they were actually used as wine cellars when they first built them to create extra revenue. Later, they were turned into Cold War bunkers, and they just found this out in the early 2000s when they opened them up and found storages of food and supplies dated back to the Cold War era. The walk across the Brooklyn Bridge is super windy, but you get great views of the city on both sides.
Yeah, it does look like a lot of people are stopping at like the first bridge just to take pictures, and not that many people are walking fully across to the other side to Brooklyn.
An interesting fact that we just learned about the Brooklyn Bridge is that while it was being made, the company that was making the steel wires that go into this bridge were delivering faulty wires that did not pass inspection. And these wires had already been added to the bridge, so it was too late for them to take them out. So what they did instead is add 150 extra steel wires to each cable. Unfortunately, this made the bridge not as strong as the builder intended. So instead of being 6 times as strong as needed, it's only 4 times as strong.
I am absolutely terrified of snakes, and I just walked around the corner and there is a guy that has a giant snake on the bridge and it's just hanging out, and it's absolutely terrifying. James, don't, hold on. But I really want a picture of the bridge. We have finished walking the Brooklyn Bridge and my feet are hurting so bad.
We are in Brooklyn now, but we're heading directly to the metro because we need to make it in time for our tickets to the top of the rock. So we get to look out over Manhattan during sunset.
It smells like wealth in here.
This is our last day here in New York, so we decided to take a nice walk through Central Park.
And of course, get bagels one last time. So if you enjoyed watching our video and our time here in New York, make sure you give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.
Bye.